My name's Dustin of Dustin Van Fleet Design, and you're watching Hometalk. So how we begin is we're using our Fusion TSP alternative, and we cleaned this piece thoroughly. After we've cleaned the piece thoroughly and it's dried, we're going to begin to paint. And today we're going to use this rich coral color that I've mixed up. Isn't this color beautiful? I can't wait to get some of it on. Now we've got to paint this piece, but because it's in a light color like this, I found that I could get away with only one coat. Everyone's going to ask me what paint I'm using. This paint is paint that I've created. I mean, it's not like my paint, but it's paint that I've mixed up myself. But if you're using a good quality acrylic paint, like I am right now that I've mixed up, then you should have fantastic coverage. You won't always get one coat coverage. That cannot be guaranteed to you. And we're just finishing up with the top here on step 1 in this tutorial where we're showing you guys how to create my French Moulin Rouge look. We're only doing one coat because, John, if you pull in close, we have a serious texture and grain to the wood that you can see. And I don't want all of that to go. So we're just going to do one coat on this. But as you can see, one coat coverage is pretty good coverage. We're wrapping up this portion of the project. We are not gobbing paint on. We're kind of using our paint sparingly. And only using it just enough for an even first coat coverage. I'm just going to take nice long strokes back and forth so that we don't have any choppiness. This paint is self-leveling, but I still like to get it as even and level as possible. And we've completed step 1 of painting the piece. In the next step, we're going to load up our paintbrush with some creamy white, and we're going to pounce out the stencil. We're not going to do it with a lot of paint because that's the number one rule, no in stenciling. If you stencil something with too much paint, you will have bleed through and your stencil will look awful. That's what so many people I teach every single day, guys. And that's the number one no. So we're not loading a lot of paint onto this brush. We're taking most of it off over here that we do load on so that we have an even amount. This is a larger stencil because we don't want a stencil that's super busy with all the stuff that we're going to have going on. Make sure you get this little part right here because it makes it easy to repeat the stencil. Your repeat is critical. on stenciling. It's where you overlap your stencil and where it hooks on and you can repeat your pattern. So we've got this one completed. So we'll take our paint off. We'll lift up. And we've got perfect stenciling. Now, where you see these little pieces where we were talking about running the gamut with the stencil, that's when you hook on right here and you see where the little dots go and where everything hooks together. Takes a minute. So what you want is to kind of blend it seamlessly so that you never know that you were overlapping and continuing your run. When we last left you guys, we had finished the top stenciling out this French Moroccan type print on the top. And right now, we're moving on and we're adding the metallic, the first coat. That's why I told you these little mistakes didn't matter. And we're just using our favorite metallic paints, in which we use a lot of fusion metallic paint. So you just use this line right here, and you keep a well-loaded brush, little art brush, but the line becomes your guide. And you know when your brush is not loaded enough because it won't keep that clear, crisp line. And as you guys will see, we've come around and we've done our second coat of gold all throughout. So we initially started and we got our first piece on, and you guys are gonna have to learn how to seam transfers. So I'm gonna show you that today. We're gonna do something a little bit different. I've shown you how to use them on numerous occasions, but I'm gonna show you how I seam them where they look pretty good. And now with this piece, we had to cut the edging off. So we had an edging like this on there. We had to cut it off. If we don't, we'll get a weird overlap and it'll turn dark and you'll see where you overlapped it. We're gonna peel off our backing. We're not gonna press anything down either until we're absolutely certain that that's where we want it. This is single-handedly the most important part of the transfer, is the seam. Okay, so we're gonna go across the edge first where we seamed it. Then we're gonna press down on this corner to make sure that this sticks. Once you get it started, typically you're golden. This one's going pretty well overall. You just stay slow. Don't get excited because you're at the end and think, oh, I can just rip it off, because you can't. We're gonna fold up our piece of wax paper and we're gonna burnish our transfer. All right, and one of the final embellishments is going to be this polka dot, in which we're using these cool daubers. You can get them from any craft store. Online or in any craft store. We're just coming along to finish this, and we'll move the table with it. And now we have got our polka dot trim. And we're going to put the dots on the harlequin as well. Now this part is very hard when you're 6'5". And the last couple steps here are, we're gonna use our sanding block, which is a medium grit. And we're just gonna come over the top so lightly. We're not even pushing down. We're putting any real, and we're gonna go straight over the transfer. Just wanna knock down any peaks that our stencil has and make our transfer look a little bit older. So then we're gonna come on the edging right here. Then we're gonna get our edge right here because we want our piece to look old and show some of this original white or cream or whatever the case may be for it. And as soon as I get out of this corner, I'll be able to show you guys a little bit more. There we go, right here. So we're gonna pull down, take some of it off. Good. Cool. And we want it to look old. So we've got all this showing, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing again. We want it to look old. And we'll do the same thing again. Distressing is easy peasy. Got that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the entire process, and I hope you guys love it as much as I have loved creating it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.